In the last movie, we learned how you can perform ripple trims to lengthen or shorten your clips in order to improve your sequence's timing and correct errors. In this movie, we're going to take a look at the roll trim, which also allows you to adjust the length of clips in the timeline, but in a much more isolated fashion where it only affects two adjacent clips. All right, so I'm going to go to the beginning of my sequence here. And as you can see, I have my B-roll laid in, but I have some things about the visuals that I'd like to change. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to play over this section here.
Craftsmanship, quality, and community spirit. That underlies everything that we do.
All right, so this is where the music is going to come in, and we're going to have these images playing over it. But, I really did want her to finish the motion of putting out the beer flight and then get her out of the frame. And right now we're cutting away right as she's putting it out on the bar. So what I'd actually like to do is make this clip a little bit longer and let her finish this movement. So we already know one way that we might be able to make this happen. I can grab this with the traditional trim and then drag over, and then let's see, I can try to get that. But then you know what? I didn't exactly get her out of the frame yet, so then I'd have to, do it again. And there's just too many steps with that. So let me undo, Command Z several times. And instead I want to introduce you to the rolling edit tool. Now, as of this version, it's sort of tucked away in this menu. If I click on the ripple edit tool, it's right here, rolling edit tool, but you want to use your keyboard. So that's the keyboard shortcut N, all right? And actually, the moment I press N, you can see that visually this button changes on screen. Now, all I have to do is click on this edit and then drag. And now I have the benefit of being able to look at the final frame of my A shot and the first frame of the B shot. So I'm looking, I'm dragging, and I'm waiting for her hands to get out of the frame about right there, and I can release, all right? And now let's check the timing. Okay, perfect, and I like the timing on this side as well. Now, occasionally when you do perform a roll trim, what you've done to the adjacent clip won't work, and you'll have to actually fix that. Keep that in mind because that is easily fixable using a slip trim, which we're going to cover in the next movie, all right? But in this case, it worked out quite well. I'm going to move to this section right here and play it.
We have Casey and his team who care meticulously about the beer. He's here anytime the beer needs it.
All right, in this case, I just think this shot is really fast, all right? It cuts away way too quick, and I'd like to lengthen it. And I can do this very easily with my rolling edit tool. So I'm going to click, and instead of dragging, I want to show you that I can use the keyboard shortcut. And that's the same exact keyboard shortcut as with the ripple trim. I can option left arrow to go to the left. I can option right arrow to go to the right. That's control left or right arrow in a PC. And if I want larger movements, I just add shift to that. So shift option left arrow will go 5 frames at a time, and then shift option right arrow will go 5 frames at a time to the right. So I'm going to just lengthen this clip. Notice that as I'm lengthening this middle clip, this one is getting shorter, so I do have to be okay with where this shot is ending. When I use the keyboard, notice that I don't get that 2-up display. So only when I click and drag do I get this visual information about where the A clip is ending and where the B clip is starting. And then maybe I want to also lengthen it on this side, so I can click and drag like so. I'm going to go back to my selection tool V because I want to mention that you're also able to use a modifier to quickly get you in to the rolling edit tool without having to switch over to it. And you do that the same exact way as you do with the ripple edit tool. Now, just to remind you, if I command clicked or control clicked on a PC, I'm able to automatically get myself into a ripple edit without actually leaving my selection edit tool. So if I command click on top of the edit, notice that it gets me into a roll. So depending on whether you click to the left or the right while holding down command or control, or right on top of the edit, that is what determines whether you get into a ripple or a roll. So if you're just going along and you say, you know what, I'd really like to lengthen this clip just a little bit more, rather than officially getting into rolling edit mode, I'm just going to command click and drag, and I very quickly lengthen the shot using my rolling edit tool. All right, and the very cool thing about rolling edits is that you're really only affecting this transition, one transition at a time. So you don't have too much to worry about with, getting anything out of sync downstream or bothering any other clips besides the ones that you're rolling. Now, just one last thing to mention about rolling edits and a lot of other type of edits is that you probably noticed that when I clicked on a edit point, both the video and the associated audio are selected at the same time. And when you're performing rolling edits, sometimes you have the audio just how you want it and you just want to move the visuals. And the way you do that is before you actually select the edit, so I'm going to just click in the gray area to unselect that, you hold down Option or Alt on a PC. Okay, so I already have the rolling edit tool enabled, and then I'm going to Option click here. And now you can see that I've only got the video selected. The audio is left alone, and I can roll my video without affecting my audio. Or I can roll my audio without affecting my video. So that Option or Alt click can really help you out when you don't want to affect both video and audio and you just want to isolate that. All right, so performing roll edits is a really great way to finesse those transition points when you just need to tweak it by a few frames to the left or the right.